It's crypto blood. Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point. OG since 12, invested in trading, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, and just blood too. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why crypto blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live.
Okay. Yeah, buddy. We'll do it live. We'll cut rate high live, baby. We'll rate cut live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream FOMC rate cut. Man, I'm sure some of you noticed I was out for the count yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. They tried to take your boy Crypto Blood down. Man, you can't even be proud to be an American nowadays on this bad boy. Yes, I'm back in the game, man. Thank you to everyone on Twitter who retweeted my complaint to YouTube for basically no warning, no strike, no anything. Just a channel elimination out of nowhere for my stream yesterday. Crazy, absolutely crazy. I'm putting out a video later today that talks about my thoughts with where we go from here until January 20th, and that is the inauguration of Donald Trump. Might be a little weird to say the least. So we'll see how things pan out. Hyben in the building, Brokoshi, no De Niro in the house. We got yeah, Hyben. Channel was taken down yesterday after my stream, but we back, like FD said, baby. We back. Shout out to FD White, another YouTuber from the D. Freedom, let the Fed do what they do. Make Africa great again. Yo, that's funny. Shout out. Listen, everybody watching on Kick, show me some love. This is my first stream on Kick. I got to give a shout out to Hotep Jesus. He's over there killing it right now on Kick. You'll see me do some stuff over there with him in the coming days, hopefully, or coming weeks, I should say. But he's killing it on Kick. I'm starting to stream on Kick. And matter of fact, let me send you guys my Kick right now. It is in the description or the chat room right now. As you guys can see there. Go follow me on Kick. Let's get that running and up and going, because I'm on Rumble, I'm on Kick, I'm on X. YouTube is where we're having the most problems because you know what's going on there. King Chris, yes, we're back, baby. We're back. So we got FOMC rate cut coming up in 2 minutes, or maybe not. I don't know what's going to happen. You guys let me know. It's a very precarious position that the feds are in, because now they're going to be looked at as doing something either politically motivated or not. Either way, it's going to, it's like it can go either way. So let's go ahead and King Chris says Twitch too. All right, I'm going to check out Twitch. Fellas. You on any social fi? No, not right now. Woo in the building. Thanks for tuning in. Bit Source AML, I was just talking about you the other day. Round of applause to him. Long-time supporter. Came out to the D to check me. Max Keiser had Max Keiser and Stacy come out to the D. And he came out. He drove out. So shout out to him. Let's go ahead and get over to the FOMC and see what the fuck going on, ladies and gentlemen.
Agree with what David just said. In other words, a quarter-point cut, and maybe as we head into next year, an intense focus on the Fed's part on what's going on fiscally. In other words, with tax cuts and spending.
Yeah, I mean, Powell's not going to want to make any predictions about what fiscal policy is going to do, so they're going to stick to data as they come. very likely they're cutting 25 this time. Our base case is they'll probably cut 25 again, and then they'll move to an every other meeting type of cadence. Our base case is that much of this stuff won't get implemented until the end of 2025, in which case they'll probably just continue at that type of trajectory until they get real clarity on fiscal policy, meaning it actually getting implemented.
All right, Jim Karen, we got about 45 seconds or so. What's your thought?
Look, I think 25 basis points, like everyone else is saying. Look, the Fed doesn't get paid to speculate on fiscal policy. When the policy's there, they will evaluate it. They'll see what the impact is on the overall economy. The key question here today is that they set back in September a terminal policy rate somewhere around 3%. The market thinks it's more closely aligned with 3.5%. That's one of the things that pushed yields higher. So the question for me is, in the statement, does the Fed actually start to change what they think of the terminal policy rate? Does it get pushed higher given the recent data that we've had on inflation and jobs and everything else?
So that's the thing to watch for there, is any indication on what that terminal or lowest rate might be. Let's get to Steve Leisman for the Fed's decision.
The Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by 0.25% to a new range of 4.5% to 4.75%, or the mid-range of 4.625. The decision this time was unanimous. There was no dissent by Michelle Bowman, the Fed governor. The committee will continue, it says, to consider adjusting the funds rate, looking at the data, looking at the risks and the outlook as well. It sees risks on both sides of its mandate, that is the possibility of higher inflation or higher unemployment, but it sees those risks as roughly balanced, it says. The economy is expanding at a solid pace, same language as last time. Labor market conditions have generally eased. Before, in the prior statement, it said that labor market conditions have slowed. I think it's a little bit better number or characterization than it had been. Inflation, it says, has made progress towards the 2% target, but it remains elevated. It removed the line that the committee has gained greater confidence inflation is moving towards 2%. I don't know what that means or how to do that. It says instead it's cutting in light of support of its goals of reaching the 2% target and its dual mandate. Finally, it says the economic outlook is uncertain, but it will continue reducing its balance sheet. Kelly, that is it. I would say a waveless or splashless quarter-point post-election cut.
Well, it's a bit early, but you're probably right. Steve, stick around. Let's turn to our panel for some more reaction. And, of course, to look ahead to the press conference that is coming at half past. And, Jim, that's often when we've seen some bigger moves.
Let's see what Bitcoin is doing right now, guys, real quick. We got Bitcoin at 76,200. This is on the hour. Getting a little sell-off. Listen, this is what I'm confused about in regards to the Fed. This is what I don't understand. How can the Fed cut rates when inflation and prices are heading higher, when the bond yields are heading higher, meaning the bonds prices are crashing? How can you cut rates or continue to cut rates? You know why? Because they don't want to look political. So now they're forced to do something just to not look political when all this time they've been political. It just doesn't make it. Round of applause for the nonsense. As XRP Junkie said, all eyes on Japan. Not on me, but all eyes on Japan. Because in December, we might get another rate hike. And so remember, that caused the biggest crash in crypto markets when Japan came out of nowhere with the rate hike. And that's only going to make the carry trade with the Japanese yen worse. So it's going to force people to unwind the carry trade the higher they hike. And as we come lower, we're going to meet each other. And this is going to be a head-on collision, like a slow train wreck, honestly. So it's interesting. What do you guys think about the quarter basis point cut? Was it political or not? Think they were going to do it regardless of who got in? We're leaking money. The dollar is done. Stellar up 10 cents. Stellar. I haven't heard about Stellar in forever. That's crazy. What are they doing over there? Actually doing anything on Stellar? Let's take a look at some of the trades. Don't forget Blowfin for the algo. If you want to trade manually, I would suggest going over to BYDFi, ladies and gents. You can get 1 free month of Bloodalytics tested out if you would like. Link is in the description below, or you can scan this QR code that's on the screen right now to try Bloodalytics signals over on Blowfan. So essentially, you just sign up, use that form that's on that landing page. Sign up for an account first before you fill out the form, because you'll need your UID number in there. So submit your UID number in the form, and then we'll reach out to you and tell you the last step that you need to do to sync your Blowfin account to the signal, and it'll just trade and give you some direction on your account. You can add to that trade, and it'll close trades for you, it will reverse trades for you, but just kind of like trading on training wheels to help you into the direction that the markets are going, and then you can add to those positions. I have a new pricing structure that's coming up. Let's take a look at, and I'll talk about that on the next stream, but let's take a look at what we have going on here with the trades. All of them are in the green. Shout out to being green. Tron, you see Tron is always trading counter-cyclical. You know, I've been in this Tron short since I think yesterday. Let me see if I can pull up I'm going to leave this screen. We're going to load. Let's load up the Bloodalytics dashboard really quickly. Hit that like button, ladies and gents. Share this stream. And for everyone over on Kick, show me some love in the chat room, man. I got 3 viewers. 0 followers. So I need you guys to follow me on Kick right now. We're going to do more streams over there. I'm going to click up with Hotep and do some stuff with him as well. And yeah, get that cracking, man. Definitely get that cracking. We'll get back to CNBC live stream after at about 2:30, so we can see what nonsense Jerome is going to talk at the podium. You got to watch your sodium. You need to watch your sodium at the podium. I'm just saying, just watch your sodium. Watch your sodium at the podium, son. All right, so Tron, like I said, been in this Tron trade short. Well, this is since last night, early in the morning. We went short on Tron, and we actually tried to go short here, but it ended up knocking us out that short, and we went long, and that tapped us out, went short. So we had some back and forth the last maybe 2 or 3 trades, but typically, man, this bad boy with the Bloodalytics algo, once Tron catches a wave, that bad boy can trade that way for days, literally for days. So like this was from Friday, November 1st. We went short, and we rolled that puppy all the way down. That was a big trade. Took another short here and rolled that into Monday. So yeah, check out Bloodalytics. Link is in the description. But as you guys can see, we got 5 trades open right now. Marcus ain't doing nothing because I guess it was all telegraphed. Up about 26% on Link, 31% on XRP, 59%, which is the biggest gain on the long Ethereum trade, and 31% on BNB. And short, only one short is Tron, up about 12% right now. Okay. What we got going on in the chat room, guys? What y'all talking about in the chat? $2 Chuck said, make everything affordable. About to pump, y'all. We about to pump, Clay, you think? We've been pumping, bro. We've been pumping since we cleared all-time highs. And that now becomes, as I told you guys, previous resistance becomes future support. So this dotted line now should become support for us. If we break below that, then we should find some support at this trend line. I personally don't understand what the Fed is doing right now. I really don't understand what the Fed is doing because, as I stated, bond yields are heading higher, right? Which I don't think they intended for that to happen, but it is. So they're cutting rates to try to bring the interest rates down on your everyday things because they think that inflation is coming down. But why are the interest rates going higher? Why is the cost of borrowing going higher for consumers? I think they painted themselves into a corner at this point. I really do. Yep, I really do. So we'll probably see some tax harvesting happen at the end of the year and might get one more sell-off before the end of the year. But my concern is really the transition. Are we going to see anything funky happen between now and January 20th when old orange man gets back into the office? Round of applause for that. Bro. You even had Peter Schiff excited about Trump getting back in office, and that ain't nothing ever excites Peter Schiff. Let me tell you, nothing ever excites Peter Schiff. So let's see. We got about almost 15 minutes until Powell hits the podium. Red River Post says Powell could throw cold water on risk assets if uncertainty is raised for December cuts. Are you referring to Japan's cut in December? Actually, Japan will be raising, so you might be talking about us. Let's take a look at Forex Factory. I like using this to just get a calendar on what's going on economically in the markets. As you see, we had the FOMC today, tomorrow, Friday. Nothing really too important tomorrow. So the rest of the week should be slow. Let's take a look at the stock market, equities. Equities are pretty much unchanged, or at least Dow Jones is unch. S&P is up 0.5%. Dow Jones had a crazy day yesterday. I think it was up like 3%. Something crazy. So risk asset is heading higher. And it's unfortunate that they lied to us, ladies and gents. The Federal Reserve, that is, they lie to us and say that their main goal is price stability and employment. They really don't care about any of that. They really are helping the people at the top or near the top, the people that own stocks, the people that own, these financial assets. That's who they're helping. The one said, if I was Trump on day one, I would pardon myself from all that BS. Looks like they're going to step back, the DOJ, because they have a mandate where they can't go after a sitting or current president. So they are going to kind of pull back on a couple of those. But I don't know if you saw Letitia. I think her name is Letitia John. Is it Letitia Johnson? I can't remember her name. The AG out there in New York. She came out yesterday and said she is ready for battle. Like, who elects these people, man? Like, we're past that. Clearly, lady, the country wanted Trump. I know you ran on I'm going to get Trump, but that shit is over. So you can move on to something else. Saying that she's protecting the citizens of New York City. How are you protecting the citizens of New York by going after Trump? You're not protecting the citizens of New York at all. Matter of fact, you're putting them in more danger by all this illegal, what do they call it? Migrant city, or I forgot what they call it, but you guys are putting your citizens in danger. Shelter city or something they call it, right? It's nonsense, man. It's nonsense that she's saying that. So she needs to get over that. Ain't nobody thinking about that. She trying to protect her career. I wish Trump would be vindictive. And I heard somebody say this on I think Pat Bet David's podcast about No, we're not about to like play fair and you know try to be nice and neutral. Nah, because y'all went at Trump's throat hard. Y'all went at Trump's throat extra hard the last 8 years. And you know, I don't know if you guys saw the the speech from Kamala Harris conceding to the win. I'm sitting there thinking the whole time, she's like, we have to put democracy first, and we're gonna have a peaceful handoff to Donald Trump and blah 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 and all that, right? I'm just thinking like, no, you can't say this stuff now. You can't go from he's a Hitler, he's fascist, he's a threat to democracy. Then on the podium, you telling all your people we're gonna make a peaceful transition to Trump. If you truly felt that way, then it wouldn't be a peaceful transition. Am I right? Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Like, you can't have such extreme rhetoric towards the opposition, and then when it comes time to hand over the keys, you're like, all right, guys, just joking. WWE, it's all for fake. It's all for fun, all entertainment. The one said her concession speech was the best she spoke. You know what? You are, bro. I thought the same thing. I thought the same. It was actually genuine. And you know what it made me think about the one? It made me think that she's relieved. Round of applause. I don't think she wanted the position in the first place. That's a good observation that I also made. The one she looked like very natural. She looked it just flowed. I don't even know if she had a teleprompter in front of her. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, I think she's actually relieved that she doesn't have that burden on her. She can go back to doing whatever she, was doing prior. Some of us in us like a challenge. He bigger than that. He a different kind of petty. What kind of petty is he? I want to know. I wish he was on a crypto blood petty. Boy, I'd be putting all them in jail. She did the same thing to Biden. Remember, she called him racist, then became his VP. Yes, we're supposed to forget that. The one we're supposed to forget that. That's crazy, man. What the hell is going on? Obama did the same thing. Man, I don't know what is going on with these guys. I don't understand it. So markets still looking kind of like blah. Nothing happened. And, usually when that happens, that means it's been pretty much telegraphed and everyone in the markets felt like he was going to do a quarter basis point. I actually didn't know. I wasn't so sure. I was a little conflicted because, with Trump coming in, it's like, do I still cut rates? Because a rate cut really is beneficial to Trump. It's like, does Jerome Powell want to rate cut to appease Trump? Because, Trump, that's one thing, guys, you got to remember, Trump was for very low interest rates, which means weaker dollar, which means inflated risk assets, which does, he had policies that he was, had in play to help the little man, but that helped the big man. The Wall Street loved that. So that's probably why you saw the Dow Jones up, what, 3.5%? Yeah, that's huge. 1,500 points. It's probably why. Cackling and making curry greens in the bathtubs. Man, oh man, oh man. Red River said, I think we'll have peace until Inauguration Day. Really? Okay. I'm still thinking something's going to happen, guys. I still think something's going to happen. I got a bet on the table with anything for clicks that he won't be in office, and I pray to God it's nothing like that. But almost like Bill after he got the Oh man, John Lopez in the building. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Right? Man, these politicians, guys, are crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I'm glad to be back on YouTube. They took everything down. It's so crazy. I'm going to put up this video I did this morning when I was taking my walk, explaining everything in detail. But literally, the account that I used to stream from, I created that account, Crypto Blood account, in 2014. I didn't start streaming until 2017 on YouTube, but I created the account in 14. Everything that, like, I have YouTube music attached to that account. I have all of my, like, I got 4 or 5 family members that I have them on premium, so they're associated to that account. I couldn't get to any of my videos because I actually watch my YouTube from that account too. So when I'm not streaming, I'm watching YouTube from that account. So all the subscriptions, all the likes, the algorithm is tailored to what I like to watch. I couldn't get to any of that. I couldn't get to any of my music playlists on YouTube Music. It was a rude awakening, man. Like, I couldn't believe that they did that to me. And you know, the message that they sent me was maybe I should pull it up. Maybe I should pull it up. Give me 1 second. Let me light my cigar. Let me get this cracking. Hit that like button. Follow me on Kick as well. I'm starting to stream over there. Show me some love over on Kick. Still no followers. Y'all need to go follow me. I just started streaming on Kick. It's my first stream, so go follow me on Kick. It's literally Crypto Blood, kick.com/Crypto Blood. Check me out over there on Kick. All right. We'll greatly appreciate it. So we're coming up on about 8 minutes until Jerome Powell comes in and gives us the double speak. Justine says, my other account was banned on here from the last election. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I got rugged, bro. I got rugged. But, you know, again, shout out to everyone. And I did name a few people in my video this morning, which I'll be putting out in a little while. But shout out to everyone who came through and, you know, showed me some love. There were a decent amount of people who retweeted. I appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. As you guys can see here. Let me see. This is the tweet. So I appreciate each and every one of you for retweeting, reposting. Hotep Jesus, my guy. Red River Post, Crux of Crypto, Alex O. And Kit, thank you, my friend. He said, F you too. Black Lives Matter. Not the Black Lives Matter card. Not pulling the BLM card. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sure. Let's see. What other replies do we have? These are all scam replies here. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everyone. I think Altcoin Daily also replied or reposted. So yeah, I appreciate all of you for looking out for Crypto Blood. We got about 6 minutes now. Let's take a look at the markets again and see what's going on. It's still a nothing burger. If I come down to the 13-minute, you'll see no real action since 2 o'clock. And I don't think we're really going to get anything unless Jerome slips up and says something that he didn't mean to in the Q&A part. Not really concerned about his speech. That's usually scripted like a Kamala rally speech, but you know, we could see potential volatility at the Q&A. So that's what we have to watch. Damon King says, CB, you know you should be rocking your Lions hat. Let's go. Man, I'm not even gonna hold you up, bro. I can't be fake. You know, I can't be fake. Like, I've never liked the Lions. I've never rooted for the Lions. So I'm not going to jump on the train like hundreds of thousands of other Detroiters have done, you know, acting like they all go blue and all, you know, all that go Lions stuff. Nah, y'all really wasn't in the gym with Barry Sanders. Y'all wasn't in the gym with Barry Sanders. Y'all wasn't rooting on for the Lions back then. I will say the Lions fans, the real ones, they've been fans since was it Fox? You guys remember Fox, the coach Fox? Those early days of the Lions, baby. But yeah, I don't even watch sports anymore, Damon. I don't even watch sports, bro. The world, I just got too much stuff on my plate to be worrying about what and you know, it's fine. I don't have a problem. Like, I like going to the games every once in a while. I'll be going to some Red Wings games. I love the Red Wings, boy. Maybe it's a color thing. I don't know. Maybe I don't like the blue. I don't know. But it's cool, but sometimes people get a little bit too entrenched into the sports, man. I'm just like, buddy, do you see what the fuck is going on outside? I mean, nigga. All right, does Santa know you're working out of his office? That's funny. John Lopez says, hey, Blood, how do you feel about the Lions this year? You think they are going to go to the Super Bowl? I have no freaking clue. Anything for clicks, of course, coming through, which I think is actually John Hill, the contrary, the great contrarian. He says Lions trash. I don't know, bro. I've been in since the silver. There we go, Damon. All right, you're a real one. You're a real one. You've been going out to the Pontiac to Washington. That's some dedication to go to Pontiac to watch the Lions. You know what I mean? No lie about that. So I give it to you, bro. I just don't follow it, bro. That's all. I just don't follow it. Not a Detroit Pistons fan. No, I can't stand the Pistons, bro. Like, I must live in Green Bay. No, I can't. No, I don't. You know, like I said, man, my era of being into sports and paying attention to it was like my early college days. It kind of dwindled off. Even then, I was really into like finance and learning these markets and stuff. So I really stopped looking at the sports stuff in my college years, to be honest with you. High school, of course, I was all in it. I was playing sports in high school. You think they're gonna try and pop Trump again before he take office? Hope not. Hope not. It's defaulting again. Yeah. If any video should have been taken down, it should have been that stream. But again, I want you guys to go watch my video. I'll be putting out in a little while that details my thoughts on why I got banned and why my channel got shut down. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I always prefer to play rather than watch. Me too. I love playing sports, or loved playing sports. 1 minute. There you go, man. Thank you for that heads up. Let's go ahead and get back to CNBC, guys. I'll go to the background and be watching the chat room too. Show me some love in the chat. And don't forget, you see it on the screen. I always get this wrong. My left, your right. Become a member. Okay, if you're a member of the YouTube channel, you're automatically eligible to win $50 a week. Automatically. If you super chat, you're added to the wheel for that week to win $50. All right. So let's see what Jerome Powell is talking about. If they try it one more time, I wouldn't be surprised if people take to the streets. Yeah, I hear that, bro. Shout out to my man. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen you, bro. Coupe DeVille in the building. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's get back to CNBC and see what Jerome got to.
Or core at 2.7, you know, the Fed funds at 4 3/4 is the wrong spot. So therefore, we've lowered them, and we probably have room to do more of that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting and significant that they take out, you know, that further progress is being made because inflation's such a big deal for them and for his legacy.
Yeah. And that's exactly, they're still on that campaign. As much as they say balance of risks is relatively equal right now, they recognize that they're still not yet at that end point of the fight against inflation that they've been, you know, going at for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Did you expect the market to just sort of chill a little bit today? I mean,
for the most part,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, they could have used this as an excuse for some reason to back off after the Russell 2000 went up 6% yesterday,
yeah.
and bank stocks. So banks are down 2%. So you're seeing a little bit of a breather taken in the majority of stocks, but really nothing dramatic in the way of a give back.
Yeah. All right, Mike Santoli, thanks very much. We appreciate your time. Why don't we go to a quick market check to sort of level set where we stand right now as we go to the Fed chair. The Dow is basically flat, off 11 points at 43,718. The other market barometers, the NASDAQ has been higher. And Chairman Powell is entering the room, I take it. Let's go to him now. See you later.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. The economy is strong overall and has made significant progress toward our goals over the past 2 years. The labor market has cooled from its formerly overheated state and remains solid. Inflation has eased substantially from a peak of 7% to 2.1% as of September. We are committed to maintaining our economy's strength by supporting maximum employment and returning inflation to our 2% goal. Today, the FOMC decided to take another step in reducing the degree of policy restraint by lowering our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. We continue to be confident that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the economy and the labor market can be maintained, with inflation moving sustainably down to 2%. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that economic activity has continued to expand at a solid pace. GDP rose at an annual rate of 2.8% in the third quarter, about the same pace as in the second quarter. Growth of consumer spending has remained resilient, and investment in equipment and intangibles has strengthened. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has been weak. Overall, improving supply conditions have supported the strong performance of the U.S. economy over the past year. In the labor market, conditions remain solid. Payroll job gains have slowed from earlier in the year, averaging 104,000 per month over the past 3 months. This figure would have been somewhat higher were it not for the effects of labor strikes and hurricanes on employment in October. Regarding the hurricanes, let me extend our sympathies to all the families, businesses, and communities who have been harmed by these devastating storms. The unemployment rate is notably higher than it was a year ago, but it has edged down over the past 3 months and remains low at 4.1% in October. Nominal wage growth has eased over the past year, and the jobs-to-workers gap is not a source of significant inflationary pressures. Inflation has eased significantly over the past 2 years. Total PCE prices rose 2.1% over the 12 months ending in September, excluding the volatile food and energy categories. Core PCE prices rose 2.7%. Overall, inflation has moved much closer to our 2% longer run goal, but core inflation remains somewhat elevated. Longer-term inflation expectations appear to remain well anchored. as reflected in a broad range of surveys of households, businesses, and forecasters, as well as measures from financial markets. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. We see the risks to achieving our employment and inflation goals as being roughly in balance, and we're attentive to the risks to both sides of our mandate. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 4.5% to 4.75%. This further recalibration of our policy stance will help maintain the strength of the economy and the labor market, and will continue to enable further progress on inflation as we move toward a more neutral stance over time. We know that reducing policy restraint too quickly could hinder progress on inflation. At the same time, reducing policy restraint too slowly could unduly weaken economic activity and employment. In considering additional adjustments to the target range for the federal funds rate, the committee will carefully assess incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. We are not on any preset course. We will continue to make our decisions meeting by meeting. As the economy evolves, monetary policy will adjust in order to best promote our maximum employment and price stability goals. If the economy remains strong and inflation is not sustainably moving toward 2%, we can dial back policy restraint more slowly. If the labor market were to weaken unexpectedly, or inflation were to fall more quickly than anticipated, we can move more quickly. Policy is well positioned to deal with the risks and uncertainties that we face in pursuing both sides of our dual mandate. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
Thank you. Given the expectation that the election outcome will produce policies that would meaningfully impact the U.S. economy next year,
that was short.
How is the committee taking these proposals into account for upcoming decisions, including potentially the next one in December? And can you give us any more sense of how proactive or reactive the Fed is prepared to be to changes in economic policies with the next administration?
Sure. So let me say that in the near term, the election will have no effects on our policy decisions.
Oh my God.
As you know, many things affect the economy, and anyone who writes down forecasts in their job will tell you that the economy is quite difficult to forecast looking out past the very near term. Here, we don't know what the timing and substance of any policy changes will be. We therefore don't know what the effects on the economy would be, specifically whether and to what extent those policies would matter for the achievement of our goal variables, maximum employment and price stability. We don't guess, we don't speculate, and we don't assume. Now, just in principle, it's possible that any administration's policies or policies put in place by Congress could have economic effects that over time that would matter for our pursuit of our dual mandate goals. So we, along with countless other factors, forecasts of those economic effects would be included in our models of the economy and would be taken into account through that channel.
That's very true, Crypto Neck. We've had historic, which I was shocked at, historic job layoffs in the government sector, which is crazy. What do you guys think that is all about? You think they're just getting ahead of the accountability department is about to be made by Elon Musk? I don't know. There's going to be more job cuts over in the government sector for sure when he gets in office, man. For sure.
You identified 1 year ago when inflation was still meaningfully above your target.
So I would just say this: we've watched the run up in bond rates, and it's nowhere near where it was, of course, a year ago. I guess the long run rates are well below that level. So we're watching that. Things have been moving around, and we'll see where they settle. I think it's too early to really say where they settle. Ultimately, I'm sure we've all read these decompositions of what, and I certainly have, but it's not really our job to provide our specific decomposition. I will say, though, that it appears that the moves are not principally about higher inflation expectations. They're really about a sense of more likelihood of stronger growth and perhaps less in the way of downside risks. So that's what they're about. We do take financial conditions into account if they're persistent and if they're material. Then we'll certainly take them into account in our policy. But I would say we're not at that stage right now. It's just something that we're watching. And again, these things don't really have mainly to do with Fed policy, but to do with other factors in the economy.
If I could follow up, is the September SEP, are those rate projections still valid? Do they still seem relevant given where we are now?
You get halfway through the cycle between the last set and the next set. I wouldn't want to comment one way or the other. Let's talk about the data we've gotten since the last meeting. So in the main, the economic activity data have been stronger than expected. The NIPA revision was stronger. Certainly the September employment report was stronger. The October report, not stronger. Retail sales stronger. So overall, though, I think you take away a sense of some of the downside risks to economic activity having been diminished with the NIPA revisions in particular, and so overall feeling good about economic activity. So I think we would factor that in. At the same time, we got one inflation report which wasn't terrible, but it was a little higher than expected. So I think really the question is December, and by December we'll have more data. I guess one more employment report, two more inflation reports, and lots of other data, and we'll make a decision as we get to December.
Just went short on Bitcoin.
Gina Smolik from the New York Times. Thanks for taking our questions, Chair Powell. When it comes to December, what will you be looking at specifically as you try to make that decision? And then as of the Fed's economic projections in September, you had written down 4 quarter-point interest rate cuts in 2025. Do you still think that those are likely? Is that sort of the baseline outlook at this point, or has that shifted? And if it shifted at all, can you give a little bit of detail as to why?
I can't. We don't fill out an SEP, and I can't characterize one that wasn't filled out today. So I can't really speak for kind of exactly where the committee is. I will just say for December we're going to be, again, at every meeting we're going to be looking at the incoming data and how that affects the outlook. As you know, we're in the process of recalibrating from a fairly restrictive level at 5.33%. After today's move, we're down 75 basis points. And we're asking ourselves, is that where we need to be? That we're trying to steer between the risk of moving too quickly and perhaps undermining our progress on inflation, or moving too slowly and allowing the labor market to weaken too much. We're trying to be on a middle path where we can maintain the strength in the labor market while also enabling further progress on inflation. We think that's where we are, but that's the question we're going to be asking in September and in other meetings. And again, I can't really update you on the committee's thinking because we don't fill out an SEP at this meeting.
Yeah, totally appreciate that. I guess when it comes to your own thinking, do you think that a full percentage point of rate cuts in 2025 is a reasonable outlook?
Again, we're going to wait and see how things come in December. I mean, it's just, I would put it this way. We're on a path to a more neutral stance. And that's very much what we're on. That has not changed at all since September. We're just going to have to see where the data lead us. We have, a whole 6 weeks of data to look at to make that decision in December. Obviously, I'm not ruling it out or in, but I would say, I would say that, again, we didn't update the SEP, so I'm not going to characterize, where the committee would be.
Howard.
Thanks, Howard Schneider with Reuters. I wondered if you could please elaborate, explain a little bit the 2 changes in the language of the statement here. In the first paragraph, where you say inflation has made progress, dropping the word further progress, and in the second paragraph, dropping the sentence that the committee had gained greater
Are we
confidence
really
that
doing
inflation was
word
progressing
analysis here? I mean, I
towards
know
its
that's what they do,
2%
but this is
goal.
ridiculous.
Is there any policy substance behind either of those changes in language? Is it meant to open the door to a December pause? Is it meant to communicate any?
Let me ask you guys something. I know we hate this CBDC idea, and there are some very, very dangerous things they can do with CBDCs. But this programmable money could, it's a double-edged sword, y'all. Programmable money could eliminate the Fed, or would eliminate the Federal Reserve. No need for them. It would all be rule-based, right? And it would be instant. They would be able to, have the rules in the system on the blockchain and whatever they're using. And if XYZ happened, then that happens. Money supply shrinks. They tighten up money supply. They open the money supply. They do all these things, but it would be all programmable, and we wouldn't need a Jerome Powell, and we wouldn't be looking at these damn words and say, oh, last month, y'all, he left the word out. Oh, this month, y'all, he added the word in. I mean, it's just like, it really is. It's really stupid. It's really stupid. So let me know what you guys think about that. Like, programmable money, we say in the Fed, but programmable money would be the path to ending the Fed. But we do need restrictions, and that is the problem, right? That is absolutely the problem. $2 Chuck said, sadly, they ain't gonna happen. Not from the president who put in warp speed. I pinned one of those comments because will Ross get his BTC back though? Hell no. I'm not a fan of Musk, not impressed. Plus, I read some stuff about him a while back that turned my stomach. Regarding what? Let me know. Would gladly know, because I don't know anything about Musk other than at one point they were alleging, and this was when I was in California. I was in LA catching an Uber to the studio where I was filming for the documentary on Netflix that I was in, or not. They didn't put hardly anything of me in the damn Netflix documentary. That's a whole nother conversation. But the guy was like, yeah, Elon Musk is a racist. He said black people should be eliminated or something crazy. I was like, huh? Man, we black folks, man, we got some real problems, man. But the thing is, I saw one comment from $2 Chuck, and I didn't know this. Someone else corroborate this statement. Trump transfer team already announced RFK is not going to have a significant role. And Chuck says he doubts that the role, any significant role, would be given to Musk. If this happens, y'all, I would be greatly disappointed. I would be greatly disappointed. That'd be a strike. Strike one. Musk is a goddamn defense contractor. But that would only work if it was issued by the Treasury. Also, take a look at Brazil. They already have the precursor called PIX. Okay, I have to check out PIX. Didn't know anything about it. Red River Powell saying saving taxes, he means tariffs, will take a long time for FOMC to react to. Right. True. Policy is word soup. Circle will be the one. They will incorporate Circle for any CBDC talks. They have, I agree that probably is the highest, most likely contender at this point. I agree with that. This is when policy will get shady. Private and public sectors, hence, need new Federal Reserve. I got $5 in Bitcoin toward your independent documentary. No, bro, I actually went to two different cities. They flew me to BK. I went to the Bronx, not Bronx. Yeah, the Bronx, right? BK? Isn't that the Bronx? I went to New York, one of them damn boroughs, filmed there. Then I went out to LA a couple of months later and filmed with them. And they finished the film. I had like a whole interview. 2, did it twice. Then they said when it got to Netflix, they said they need to cut the length of the documentary. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Nonsense. It was a documentary about Centratech on Netflix. What was the name, guys? Someone drop in the chat room what the name was. What I read about Musk was regarding accounts of his spiritual upbringing. I'm talking weird stuff from a babysitter. It sounded believable. Plus, I'm going on instinct. Interesting. Okay. We'll have to do some off the uncensored talk about that. He will make Musk an AMB watch. Hell, the owner of the Dodgers was the AMB of France, I think, when Trump was last in office. Okay. Yeah, I literally had 60 seconds. I had 60 seconds. And the 60 seconds they used was from an old video from my YouTube channel. I really don't think it was the production company, the producer. He was real cool. His wife was from Michigan. Very cool guy. And very cool production team. It wasn't them because they wouldn't have spent the money to fly me out twice. It was Netflix. Bitcoin. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Is Jerome Powell done? No, but he ain't talking about shit. We'll go back to it though. Round of applause.
Moving policy down, our stance down over time to more neutral level. And as a general matter, as we move ahead, we are prepared to adjust our assessments of.
We went short on Bitcoin, as you guys can see there. We're still short Tron. Markets are getting a little pop right now at the moment. This is on the 13-minute. If I zoom out to the 1 hour, a nothing burger yet still. So, not sure.
Beginning to think about.
Edward. Thanks, Chair Powell. So with the noise in the jobs reports that we've seen, and you look at the Fed's favorite inflation, PCE inflation, overall it's 2.1%, very close to the Fed's target, but core inflation is 2.7%, and it's been that way since July. So why doesn't this data give fuel to a rate pause for this meeting?
Well, so I think if you look at the 3 and 6 month, you're quoting the 12-month. So yes, we look at all of them, right? But if you look at the 3 and 6 month core PCE, you'll see they're around 2.3%. So we look at all of them.
So you just go and pick whichever ones you want
to
fit your narrative.
But
basically,
what it's telling us is that we really have made significant progress. And we expect there to be bumps. For example, the last 3 months of last year, the core PCE readings were very, very low, probably unsustainably low. So that's why forecasts generally see a couple of upticks toward the end of the year. On the other hand, the January reading certainly looks like an example of residual seasonality, so that we saw last year. So when that falls out of the 12-month calculation in February, we should see a thing down. So it'll literally be a bump up and then down. We understand that. Overall, you see the progress on inflation, and you also look at the economy and you say, what is the inflation story now? Where's it coming from? So I point to a couple of things. One is the non-housing services and goods, which together make up 80% of the core PCE index, are back to the levels they were at the last time we had sustained 2% inflation, which happens to be in the early 2000s for a period of 5, 6, 7 years. So they're back to that level. What's not is housing services. So let's talk about housing services. Housing services is higher. What's going on there is, market rents, newly signed leases are experiencing very low inflation. And what's happening is older, leases that are turning over are taking several years to catch up to where.
I talked to Rice, bro, last night and this morning. He's good. He's got technical difficulties with his internet. It's been going in and out. I don't know if they're attacking him or what. But he's having serious internet connectivity issues, and he's got somebody coming out to the house today. But yeah, very strange things going on. And again, watch my video that I put out in a little while that will give you my opinion about what's going on from now until January 20th. Very, very strange things going on.
Story is intact, and it won't be one or two really good data months or bad data months aren't going to really change the pattern at this point now that we're this far into the process.
So you're quickly trying to get to that neutral rate that you see, or do you foresee that you have some time to get there?
Nothing in the economic data suggests that the committee has any need to be in a hurry to get there. We are seeing strong economic activity. We are seeing ongoing strength in the labor market. We're watching that carefully, but we do see maintaining strength there. And so we think that the right way to find neutral, if you will, is carefully, patiently. Again, that's not meant to have a specific meaning, other than to the extent the economy remains strong, we have the ability to take advantage of that as we try to navigate that middle path between the two risks.
Hi, Chair Powell. Craig Torres from Bloomberg. Two questions today. Did you learn anything about what Americans think about the economy from the election results?
That's a good question.
Second question. I want to talk about some labor market indicators, and I do so with great respect for your attentiveness to the maximum employment side of the mandate, Chair Powell. So the unemployment rate has been at 4% or higher for 6 months. One of the broadest measures of unemployment is up about 0.5 point from a year ago. Compensation gains are sliding
Everyone
back.
on YouTube,
the quits rate, a signal of labor market dynamism, has been heading down to that bad neighborhood of the 20 teens. So you have put a marker at Jackson Hole saying any further cooling is unwelcome. It is cooling generally a little bit further. So at what point do we reach what you would describe as a shortfall from maximum employment? Thank you.
Sure. So on your first question, I'm not going to talk about anything that relates directly to the election.
You sound like Kamala.
This is the great question, and it's the one we think about all the time. So
the one
I'll
great
just say a couple
question he
things.
asked, you don't answer.
There's nothing really surprising here. What we know is that the unemployment rate is low. We also know that it's come down significantly, moved up significantly from a year or so ago. So we've seen a big change upward in unemployment. Sometimes that has meant bad things. So far, it doesn't appear to be. It appears that I wouldn't say that the labor market has fully stabilized, because I do think it's continuing to very gradually cool, but it seems to be in a good place. And our policy, of course, is designed to keep it in that good place, to maintain the strength in the labor market while also enabling further progress on inflation. You mentioned a bunch of indicators, and you're right. The openings to unemployment rate is back to a normal level. I would characterize it more broadly as normalizing. You mentioned wages. Wages are still running just a bit above where they would need to be consistent with 2% inflation, unless productivity is going to remain at this high level. If we see productivity, more sustainably at these high levels, then that would sustain higher wage gains. So I would say, in fact, you could say it the other way, that wage increases are now consistent with 2% inflation given current productivity readings. But of course, the lore on productivity readings is whenever you see high readings, you should assume they're going to revert pretty quickly to the longer-term trend. That has always been the case for 50 years. But it may be that we're now 5 years. If you look at the NIPA revisions that came out a month ago, we're 5 years into a nice set of productivity readings, which are sustained and very healthy. But overall, it's a good labor market. We could talk about 20 different data series. We'll be looking at all of them, of course. But you know, we don't want the labor market to soften much from here. We don't think we need that to happen to get inflation back to 2%.
Victoria.
All right,
Hi,
guys.
Victoria Guido with
Let's just wrap it up, man. This is getting boring. I'm getting sick of hearing nothing, as always. And as Rice said, at some point I might just stop doing these FOMCs and just do a post show because it's a waste of our time. We're not learning anything. We're not getting any new information, no new data to go off of to make assessments on which direction we want to go in the markets. Look, at the end of the day, here's my take on where we go from here. We may get another quarter basis point cut in December, but the main thing you need to watch is, and someone said it earlier, the Japanese Bank of Japan, BOJ, will probably be raising rates or raising rates, in December. That is the main one we need to watch because we know what happened when they raised rates the last time. Bitcoin dropped, 25% or something like that. It was a crash. So from now to the end of the year, we need to watch that next BOJ decision in December. So that's what I'm looking at, and that's what you should be watching out for as well. Clay the Great said, homeboy will have to wait for Trump and the economic policies and foreign policies to be put in place. Exactly. How many people, drop me a 1 in the chat if you think Trump is going to, and I don't know if he can, fire Jerome Powell when he gets in. 1 for fire, 2 for no. He'll stay in. That's it though, guys. I will check you guys later. Make sure you come back and watch the video I put out. I'm going to be putting out here soon about what happened to my channel and how I got banned from YouTube and the lessons and observations from all of that. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I will check you guys out tomorrow. Until next time, I'm out of here, people. Holla.
Yo, it's Crypto Blood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point, OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, and just Bloods do. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Kick that money, gotta keep it creep. That's my Crypto Blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.